It is New Hampshire Day at Fenway Park, and what a day it is. It is warmed up here tonight. Great night for baseball. It's Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Tigers and the Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast with everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, last night the Red Sox were shut down by Max Scherzer. In fact, they were shut out by the Detroit Tigers, and the Red Sox trying to gain some consistency.
They really are, Don. You know, they have trouble getting to 500. When they get there, it seems like they fall a couple of games back, and they have not been able to go on a roll that's going to get them above 500 and keep them going. And here's some of the reasons. They're 5-17 when opponents score first, 0-11 when scoring 2 runs or fewer, and 5-10 in one-run games. And, of course, that means they don't have the comeback ability, and a lot of that's because of the offense right now. The pitching basically has been fine all season long, whether it be starters or the bullpen, which has had a couple of hiccups, but nothing serious. But the fact that the offense has struggled along, that's the reason you see those numbers the way they are right there. They'd like to get those things turned around because that would mean a long winning streak.
Doesn't get any easier tonight. Rick Porcello is on the mound tonight for the Tigers. He's 6-1 on the year. But the Red Sox have Brock Holt back. We'll tell you why when we come back to Fenway Park with more right after this. Three-game series between the Red Sox and the Tigers. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, last night we saw on the first hit of the game for the Detroit Tigers, Will Middlebrooks come up lame as he could not make the catch at third base. Today we find out that he kind of gutted it through the game last night through a couple of at-bats with a fractured finger. And today the Red Sox place him on the disabled list. A tough situation for the Red Sox third baseman who goes on the DL. He has been struggling this season, hitting under 200 at 197. Brock Holt recalled from Pawtucket once again, hitting .348 so far this season with the Red Sox with 4 RBIs, back up again with Boston. With more, here's Adam Pellerin.
Well, Don, really, it was a tale of two plays last night. One that looked serious and one that didn't. The one that looked serious was Xander Bogaerts taking a 98-mile-an-hour fastball off the wrist. Turns out he's okay. He's back in the lineup. But Will Middlebrooks, as you mentioned, he's a different story. He fractured his right index finger on a hot shot from Ian Kinsler in the first inning. He was playing up for the bunt and got the line drive instead. Finger swelled up during the game. He got an MRI, which revealed the fracture. John Farrell says he'll be in the splint for the next 5 to 7 days. They'll reevaluate after that. Meantime, it's been a tough season so far for Middlebrooks. Already been on the DL with a calf injury, and now he's dealing with this.
I hit with it twice, or attempted to hit with it twice, and I was able to hit with it off the bat, but throwing was pretty tough. I think I got like 3 or 4 plays after it happened, but I knew the grass was wet, so I could like skip it over to nap if I needed to. So try to make it through, and I was like, man, just jammed it, bruised it, man, it'll be better tomorrow, ice it up, whatever, and then it just kept getting worse and getting worse.
That was Will Middlebrooks with our Geico quote of the day. Brock Holt, as you mentioned, Don, been called up from AAA Pawtucket. He actually got back with the Paw Sox last night from Indianapolis. Got word that he might get called up. He hasn't had much sleep, but he'll take the start at third base tonight.
All right, Adam, thanks very much. Well, another terrific pitching matchup tonight. Rick Porcello is on the mound tonight for the Detroit Tigers. He is matched up against John Lackey. Again, beautiful weather tonight from Fenway. It's game 2 of the series, and it's next on Nesson. It is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Dunkin' Donuts, Toyota's website for deals by Toyota.com, Brian's Coffee Pouches, and by your Subaru dealers of New England. Well, it is New Hampshire Day here at Fenway Park, and a beautiful night at that, as it feels like spring finally here in Boston. The Red Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers tonight, game 2 of the series, and the conditions far better than 24 hours ago. It is 70 degrees here at the ballpark, breeze out to right at 9 miles per hour, nothing but blue skies above Fenway, and that's what we anticipate for the remainder of the evening. Now, the Red Sox had a loss last night, and they dropped down 2.5 games back now behind the Baltimore Orioles on top of the AL East at 22-18. The Yankees playing the Pirates this weekend. In fact, they're going to play 3 games in less than 48 hours after being rained out last night. Tampa Bay right now in the bottom of the American League East at 19-24, 4.5 games out of the top spot in the AL East. Well, good to see Shane Victorino back in there tonight. A little bit of addition and subtraction for the Red Sox. Victorino is back, but out at third base is Will Middlebrooks, as Brock Holt back up here with the Red Sox. And Jerry, right now the Red Sox just trying to get some momentum going here, and it's tough to do against these very good pitchers that the Tigers are featuring.
You're exactly right. You know, last night Scherzer was very, very good, obviously, against the Red Sox. So was John Lester for the Red Sox. And tonight John Lackey goes out there against Porcello, and Porcello is also a very hot pitcher. So, you know, the Tigers have everything going right now. They're pitching well, they're hitting well, and that's why they're kind of running away with things in the Central Division.
Scherzer from last night, 6 innings as he got into the 7th inning, so really 6+ last night. No runs, 3 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 7, and in there was a 47-minute rain delay mixed in as well for Scherzer.
And he had almost everything working for him last night. The only pitch that wasn't consistent for him was a changeup, but yet he got some big outs with it. That was the breaking ball right there, a curveball, a nasty slider to Middlebrooks last night, and then David Ross, the slider again. So very, very tough last night. That's the guy, you know, that won the Cy Young last year, and you wouldn't expect much different from him in a game like that.
Now, the Red Sox have taken the field tonight, so let's check out the visiting Detroit Tigers starting 9. Ian Kinsler leads it off tonight. He is at second base. Torrey Hunter in right field bats second, hitting at .365 on the road this season. Miguel Cabrera is at first base, batting third with Victor Martinez, the DH. Austin Jackson is in center field with Nick Castellanos at third base. Alex Avila has always hit well here at Fenway at .302, bats seventh. Austin Romine at shortstop, bats eighth. And the speedster, Rajay Davis, who led off last night, bats ninth tonight, and he's in center field. Well, Red Sox starting pitcher tonight is presented by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new 2015 Audi A3 today. John Lackey on the hill for his 9th start of the year, 5-2 with a 3.57 earned run average. 53 innings. He's got 52 strikeouts. He has walked 11, and opponents hitting at .260 against Lackey. His last start, he lasted 7 innings, giving up 2 runs, struck out 9, didn't walk anybody, and that was against the Texas Rangers.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 9th in the American League with 26 errors in 41 games. Brock Holt will be at third base, and the Bogarts the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, and Mike Napoli the first baseman. Left to right, Mike Cart, Grady Sizemore, and Shane Victorino. And A.J. Pazinski gets a start behind the plate, catching Lackey.
Umpiring crew tonight, Clint Fakin has the play calling the balls and strikes. Scott Barry at first base. Hunter Wintelstead is the umpire at second, and the crew chief, Jeff Nelson, will man third base tonight for the umpires. This game is available in Spanish. The SAP function is brought to you by the new Captain Morgan White Rum.
Buenas noches, amigos.
It doesn't get much better than this here at Fenway Park. Very comfortable conditions. John Lackey ready to work. And the Tigers back here again tonight for night 2 of this 3-game series, all night games. And Ian Kinsler, one of the newest Tigers to stand in to get it started. 301 average, 4 homers, 19 runs batted in for the Tigers' second baseman. He was 1 for 4 in the ballgame last night with a double. Lackey ready to work, and the first pitch of the ball game is in there for strike 1, and we're underway.
Against the left-hander last night, Kinsler was batting second in the lineup. Tonight he moves into the leadoff spot against the right-hander John Lackey.
Another fastball, this time at 95. The velocity great right out of the gate tonight for Lackey. First pitch at 94, the second at 95. There's Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. Zips another one up and away, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Ian Kinsler. Lackey with 3 straight wins. New York, Tampa Bay, and at Texas. This one slap foul down the right field line, out of play.
Yeah, very impressive last time out. You saw the numbers on the graphic against the Texas Rangers down in Texas, in Arlington, Texas.
9 strikeouts, no walks in that outing against the Rangers. Kinsler will pop it up left side. Brock Holt, just back on the Red Sox, steps into foul ground to make the catch. For the first out here, the first inning, ended up stepping back into fair ground. 1 away here in the first inning. Well, fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now with MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all season. Tonight, Preplay predicts that John Lackey goes 7 innings with 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. 1 down here in the first inning for Torrey Hunter. Hunter last night going 2 for 4 in the game, and an RBI. Fights it off foul, and it's off to the right foul. It's trying to jump on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, not that velocity is everything, but this is very good velocity in the first inning from John Lackey. 94-95 with the fastball.
To right center field, Sizemore on the run, so is Victorino, and Shane will get there for the second out. He got the speed of Shane Victorino back out there in right field tonight. He runs that down in right center field, 2 down.
Yeah, good news for Victorino. No physical damage with that knee. He is supposedly wearing a brace tonight on it, but he covers a lot of ground right there in a very short period of time.
So 2 down here in the first inning for Miguel Cabrera. Under 300, hitting at .295, 6 homers and 35 runs batted in. He was 1 for 3 in the game last night. He tried to pick up that outside corner and missed. He's got a 7-game hitting streak coming in. Hitting at .360 during the streak with 10 RBIs. Pops it up, foul ground. Napoli and Przinsky over towards the dugout. Napoli will make the catch as he leans in. Nice grab by Mike Napoli to end the inning. A 1-2-3 first for John Lackey. A little help from his friends. Well, nice catch by Mike Napoli to end the top of the first inning. Red Sox coming up in the bottom of the first. Their lineup is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Dustin Pedroia leads it off at second base with Shane Victorino in right field batting second. David Ortiz, the DH. Mike Napoli at first base in the cleanup spot with Grady Sizemore in center field. Mike Carp is in left. A.J. Przinsky so far at Fenway hitting at .328. He bats seventh with Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. And Brock Holt back with the Red Sox again at third base. Pedroia stands in as Dustin leads it off again tonight. He has settled into that leadoff spot for Boston. And he'll take strike one from Rick Porcello. 6-1 on the year as he makes his 8th start at 3.22 earned run average. 29 Ks to 6 walks, and opponent's hitting at .244 against Porcello. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Yeah, and if he's effective tonight, he will keep those infielders busy. He is a ground ball type pitcher, without doubt.
So the numbers on the road: 3-1. The earned run average at 4.44 compared to his home ERA, which is 1.77. So not as good away from Comerica Park. We'll see. 0-2, fouled off again.
And lifetime not that good against the Red Sox. 1-3 in his career with a 10.42 ERA.
Pedroia strikes out to begin the bottom of the first inning.
After a number of fastballs, he goes to the curveball right here to pick up the strikeout against Pedroia. 21st time that Dustin has struck out this season.
One down, Shane Victorino, the batter, hitting at .292. No homers and 9 runs batted in. That banged up his knee in a sliding play in Minnesota on Tuesday night on the last road trip for Boston. back in there again tonight for the Red Sox. He'd been 3 for 5 in that game in Minnesota, and that was a triple that he had legged out. It was his first triple of the year and the first since July of last year. Fouls it back and evens it count at 1-1. I want to remind you to tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 for an unforgettable stories about fellow Red Sox fans who redefine what it means to be strong. The film is Green Mountain Dreamers, presented by Bond Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of the Boston Red Sox. It's tomorrow night at 7:30. 1-1, a broken bat looper to short left. Davis coming in to make the catch. Too much speed for Rajay Davis. 2 down.
Let's look at the defense for the Tigers. They are 8th in the American League with 22 errors in 37 games. Constelanos at third base, Austin Romine the shortstop, Ian Kinsler at second, and Miguel Cabrera, the first baseman, left to right. Rajay Davis, Austin Jackson, and Torrey Hunter, and Alex Avila doing the catching for Porcello.
2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Big Papi settling into the box on the left side. David at 304, 11 home runs and 25 runs batted in. 1 for 3 in the game last night with a walk. Extended his hitting streak to 9 games last night as the Tigers shift on him on the right side. Numbers over the 9-game hitting streak. 18 for 36, hitting a cool 500 in the last 9 games. Been quite a week. Ortiz in the air to center field. Over comes Davis from left center, and wow, that became interesting, but he makes the catch as part of a 1-2-3 first for Porcello. No score from the fans.
Presented by the new Scion TC is in honor of New Hampshire Day here at Fenway Park. Which is your favorite New Hampshire location? Text Sox 1 for Hampton Beach, Sox 2 for Lake Winnipesaukee, Sox 3 New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Sox 4 the White Mountains. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text help for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and condition and privacy policy.
Jerry, I'm going White Mountains since that's where I grew up. I got to go with White Mountains. On the ground, left side shift is on, and that's into left field. They sit for Victor Martinez. Nobody was over there, and he finds it through that left side.
Victor Martinez now with a 7-game hitting streak. He came into the game a .407 hitter against John Locke, and that's going to go up. You can see nobody in the picture there as they got the shift on Martinez. Little ground ball down the third base side finds its way into left field. I'm going to say Lake Winnipesaukee.
That's not a bad pick at all.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Can't go wrong in New Hampshire. You really can't.
No.
7-gamer for Martinez. Pitch zipped outside. To the White Mountains, you get North Conway, Madison, Tamworth, Sandwich, Ossipee, whole area over there. So many great places to go. 1-0 is low and away. Lackey takes a little stroll behind the mound in the midst of a meeting with himself. Up behind here quickly to Austin Jackson, 2-0. Trying to bring it back to the corner was Pierzynski. Was close enough on its own.
Yeah, Lucky doesn't like that call at all. He thought he had the outside corner down and knee high. Pierzynski pulling it back to the corner of the plate.
That is definitely a strike. 3-1. Jackson at 270 with 2 homers and 12 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 in the game last night as he fouls it straight back, and Lackey has battled his way back here to a full count.
Jackson's had a little problem recently, 0 for his last 15.
On deck, Nick Castellanos. Brad Ausmus, the new manager for the Tigers. Jim Leyland retiring at the end of last year, and Tigers off to a great start under Brad Ausmus. They're 25-12 with a win last night and bettered their spot in the American League Central with a win last night. Now a 6.5 game lead between them and the second place Minnesota Twins.
Well, we talked last night, Don, how they've changed this ball club. I mean, you know, the core is there. Guys like Cabrera, Martinez, but they've added some speed. Their bullpen looks totally different.
That's what I like, is the back end of their games now, the bullpen. And we saw Joe Nathan come in. That's something they were searching for all last year, was a legitimate closer. They very much have one now. We got to look at that bullpen as the night went on, as Scherzer started the game and had that rain delay in the middle, was able to get into the 7th inning. Foul back, still a full count. Scherzer with a victory here last night, betters his record to 6-1, equaling the guy on the mound tonight who is 6-1 in Rick Porcello. Red Sox fortunately will not see Verlander in the series. Anibal Sanchez will get the start here tomorrow night against Peavy, as Lackey loses Austin Jackson. First walk given up by Lackey. Well, Liverpool Football Club returns to Fenway Park to face AS Roma on Wednesday, July 23rd. Kickoff time is at 7:30. The match will feature 2 of the most prominent clubs in European football, setting the stage for an exciting rematch at Fenway Park. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. Go to RedSox.com, Football Fenway, to get your tickets for this great match today. Castellanos sitting at 233, 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. 1 for 3 in the game last night as he got the start at third base last night. Back there again tonight. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1. To left field and a base hit for Castellanos. Victor Martinez will stop at third, and the Tigers have the bases loaded with nobody out here in the second inning.
Hell, the first time that Castellanos has faced John Lackey, it's a hard line drive to left field, and no chance of Victor Martinez to score on this. Ball hit hard, charged hard by Carp in left field, and of course Victor does not run very well, so they hold him up at third base. But The base is loaded here with nobody out in the top of the second inning.
Castellanos, who got his first major league home run against a former Red Sox pitcher, April the 9th, Josh Beckett. It's another tall Texan tonight, and John Lackey, and he gets a base hit into left field. Loads the bases for Alex Avila. Avila 0 for 3 this season with the bases loaded. Has one career grand slam to his credit. Victor Martinez at third, Austin Jackson at second, Nick Castellanos at first base. Away, and it's 1-1. Another pitch that Lackey wanted.
Well, Lackey'd love to minimize his damage by getting some kind of a ground ball and get 2 outs, maybe give up a run. That's okay, especially at this stage of the ball game.
Two and one.
Ball clearly outside this time from Lackey.
He'll 0 for 7 in his career against John Lackey with 3 strikeouts. Getting a little closer, but still outside. 3-1. Lackey feels like he's getting squeezed right now. Bases loaded situation, falling behind here. 3-1 to Avila. Good spot for Alex Avila. Fouled off, and it's a full count now. On deck for the Tigers, Austin Romine. Lackey wouldn't mind picking up his first K, something that does involve contact here with the bases loaded. Avila fouls it off, stays alive.
A good tough pitch for Avila to foul off to a borderline strike on the outside part of the plate. You can't take it. You can't take that chance. And he's able to foul it off to give himself another chance. That was a good pitch by Lackey.
20th pitch of the inning coming up here for Lackey, and he does not have an out yet. Outfield about straight away on Avila. Bases loaded, nobody out. And a ground ball right side. Diving is Pedroia to second base. On to first. It's not in time, and a run scores. Victor Martinez in the back door from third. Tigers take a 1-0 lead. Then argument will ensue as John Farrell comes out to dispute this play at first base and what was a close play in the back end of what the Red Sox were hoping for in a double play.
Well, a great play, first of all, by Pedroia diving to his left, and then a great feed to Bogaerts to throw to first base. I'm not quite sure it was in time. Taking a look from another angle. I think he's got the bag before the ball's in the glove. John Farrell back to the dugout. These arguments are getting boring, aren't they? I mean, all managers do now is walk out to the umpire and stare at their dugout.
You go out there and say, I might be challenging this, but first I'm going to look in my dugout and find out.
I'm just going to turn around. Let's both turn around and look in the dugout.
First and third with 1 out in the inning, and here's Austin Romine. First and third with one away. 1-0 is a strike over the outside corner. 1-1. One run in here for the Tigers in the second inning. Drops the bunt down, and it will be a foul ball picked down there by Holt.
Yeah, that was not a suicide squeeze. That was a safety squeeze that time by Romine. You'll see the runner at third base not taking off until the bunt is down on the ground. And then he takes off, but the ball goes into foul territory. On a suicide squeeze, obviously that runner would be going on the pitch, not on contact.
Swing and a miss, and Andrew Romine strikes out. That is the first K for Lackey. 2 down here in the second inning.
Lackey going to the cut fastball that time, down and in on Romine to pick up the strikeout.
First and third, two-way. Rajai Davis, the batter. Davis in left field at .284, 3 homers and 12 runs batted in. Tardy on the cut, down 0-1. Austin Jackson at third base, Alex Avila at first base. Swinging a foul tip, 0-2. Take a look at our Chevy key player, Rajai Davis, at .393 with 2 doubles and a triple and 3 RBIs versus John Lackey in his career. First and third, 2 down, a run in. And Rajai Davis here, the count of 0-2. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Center fielder Grady Sizemore over towards right center field. In the air to right center field, shallow. Sizemore coming in. He'll get under it and make the catch that ends the inning. Tigers get a run and take a 1-0 lead. We will see Mike Napoli lead it off. We come back. 1-0. Tigers have jumped on top of the Red Sox as John Lackey kind of minimizes the damage there in the top of the second inning. As the Tigers had the bases loaded with nobody out, they get one run. Mike Napoli leads it off here in the bottom of the second inning. Napoli, Sizemore, and Carp anticipated in the inning. Napoli 0 for 2 in the game last night. Did get on twice, though, walking twice.
Now back in the first inning, Mike Napoli in a foul ball, reaching into the first row and making a terrific catch to give the Red Sox a 1-2-3 inning.
Mike Napoli did not reach base safely on Thursday at Minnesota. Ended his on-base streak at 33 straight games. The second longest streak overall this season behind Jose Bautista's 37 straight games. Today's key matchup is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Mike Napoli hitting at .333 with 2 doubles and a triple lifetime against Porcello. To right field, Torrey Hunter on the move, still going, and he's not going to get there. Drops in for a hit. Napoli will stop with a single, but he's aboard. First base runner of the night for Boston.
Nice approach there by Napoli, thinking up the middle, the opposite field, and drops it in and to the left of Torrey Hunter in right field for the leadoff base hit. That's a sinking fastball going back in on Napoli, and that's a ball he generally pulls, but this time he goes to the opposite field with it to pick up the base hit. Good ground coverage out there by Torrey Hunter to get that ball back in and hold Napoli to the single.
So Napoli aboard at first base, held on by Miguel Cabrera. There is Grady Sizemore batting out of the number 5 spot for the Sox. They'll take strike one. Sizemore 0 for 4 in the game last night. Totes a .234 batting average. 2 homers and 13 runs batted in. Fouls it straight back. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation, which helps children battling cancer, students trying to afford college, soldiers returning from war, kids playing in little leagues and RBI programs, and families in need of holistic, comprehensive health care. This is the work of the Red Sox Foundation. Inside is Sizemore, 1-2. 340 with men on base for Grady Sizemore. He's got Napoli at first and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. In the dirt, sprawling Avila to the backhand. Keeps that from the backstop. Nicely done.
Avila, very good defensive catcher for the Detroit Tigers. Nice backhanded play there, like a first baseman making a backhanded play.
Lead at first for Napoli. Sizemore grounds towards second, could be 2. Kinsler with a tag there for 1. On to first for 2. 4-3 on the double play, 2 down.
Well, if there's any way possible as a base runner, you try to fall to avoid the tag. But Napoli thought he was by him. Eventually got tagged on the back. Right there, as you can see, and then the throw to first base to get the double play. If you're in front of the second baseman, you try to fall, make him reach down, and a lot of times that'll cause the runner at first to be safe. But Napoli thought he had to beat that time.
Two down for Mike Carp. Another start for Carp, getting a chance to play a little bit more lately as he's back in the starting lineup tonight. And in left field for Boston. 1 for 4 in the game last night. He's 3 for his last 8. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1.
Change up that time for Porcello. The fastball, curveball, change up.
Just missing with the fastball, a little bit low there for Porcello. Fourth start of his career here at Fenway Park. 1-1 in his career at Fenway. 11 2/3, 13 earned runs here. Has not been a pretty place for him, but so far so good tonight.
Another good changeup.
Has 1 strikeout. He's not walked anybody yet tonight. A.J. Brzezinski waiting on deck. There's a pop-up shift on. And it is Romine on the right side of the infield to make the catch that ends the inning. 1-0 Tigers. We'll check out the view when we come back. Back at Fenway with the Tigers on top 1-0, heading to the top of the 3rd inning, and the top of the Tigers order to lead it off, Ian Kinsler. As he takes strike 1, Kinsler popped out to the 3rd baseman Brock Holt in the 1st inning. Just under 300 at 299. In the air to center field, Grady Sizemore in and under, makes the catch for the 1st out. Time for the Wally wave, and Wally's got some friends out there tonight on this New Hampshire day. And the UNH Wildcard, the Manchester Monarchs, and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats all represented out there. Toronto's AA. So he's got some friends. It's not just him out there on the Wally wave tonight, Jerry.
And little Wally's learning how to do the wave. He's been practicing the last couple of days. Yeah,
he's been working on that up here in the booth.
And I think he's just about got it down. It's kind of like a, you go around a little bit like this.
Yeah.
And then you kind of put one hand out and shake it, another one shake it, and then you come back and go around, and shake, and move the boiler a little bit.
This is popped up foul off to the right as Napoli heads over, but he won't have a play. It seems that Wally has lost quite a few beans over the years. It looks like he is.
Even the boiler thing, when he tries to move the boiler, it doesn't really.
No, it doesn't boil.
It doesn't do very much so. But
there it is. There.
I'm all right.
Outstanding. Are you?
Now, people ask, they're asking him all the time, where's Wally in his chair? And
what is there? The chair is
destroyed. It's absolutely destroyed.
0-2 pitch by the mound towards short. Bogarts has got it. And Torrey Hunter is out number 2.
Maybe we can get Mark back there to go back to the closet
to find what's left of the chair.
What's left of the chair. They did some work in here in the off season, and they took care of the chair pretty good. So I've got a new one on order.
Is it something you can fix? It's not fixable.
No,
it's not something you put together with glue, or
it's not fixable at all. And but there's a new one on order, so don't worry. It'll be back.
Wally will be back in his chair. So for now,
and
Wally's going to lie down.
Those who don't like it, it's going to be back anyway.
Yeah, you can prop it up with your glasses here. You're all set.
Yeah.
Wally's right back where he should be. Still doesn't talk to me, but that's fine. We've had that kind of hot and cold relationship over the years.
Here's what's left of Wally's chair.
Wow. That's a tough condition.
There you go. That is not fixable. It is not fixable.
It really isn't. In fact, it's missing the entire left side.
Yeah. It's totally.
Wow. Was that understuffed, or what exactly happened there?
I have no idea.
You don't think somebody went in there and actually did that? Just went in and
there's a lot of people not crazy about it. There's a lot of people crazy about it, and that could have happened, but that's what's left of the chair. So I got another one on order. It'll be in soon. Thank you, Mark.
0-2 in the air to right field. Struck well back towards the corner. Victorino going back. He will not have a play, and it is gone. A home run. Miguel Cabrera right down the line gets his 7th home run of the year, and the Tigers take a 2-0 lead. One of those Fenway Park home runs right down that right field line.
Now that's the thing about Cabrera. He can use the whole ballpark from the right field line to the left field line. And that time right down the right field line, right around that pesky pole. We mentioned he has been hot recently, and you're going to look up soon, and you're going to see that average probably about 330, 340. Fastball that he takes to the opposite field, wraps it around the pole, and 2-0 Tiger lead.
He's got an 8-game hitting streak now and a 370 average during the streak. As he homers to put Detroit on top 2-0 is Victor Martinez. A 1 pitch. Misses down and in to Victor Martinez. He singled his first time up. Came around to score the Tigers' first run. They've added another here in the 3rd inning. Well, Dunkin' Donuts is kicking off summer right with its iced coffee day on Wednesday, May 21st. Guests can sip to support a great cause at participating Dunkin' Donut locations in New England. $1 from every cup of Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee sold will benefit local nonprofit organizations. Dunkin' Donuts is the place to keep running all day long with iced coffee. So take a refreshing break on May 21st and support a worthy cause. A 1-2 pitch. One hopper that explodes on Napoli, knocks it down, and has plenty of time to recover to tag the bag. 2-0 Tigers as they get another run. Pierzynski, Bogarts, and Holt coming up. New Hampshire Day at Fenway is brought to you by the New Hampshire Division of Travel and Tourism. Plan your vacation at visitnh.gov. Now the Tigers out to a 2-0 advantage here after 2.5 innings. Red Sox come to bat here in the last of the third. A.J. Pierzynski, Xander Bogaerts, and Brock Holt face Rick Porcello, who's given up 1 hit through the first 2 innings. Pierzynski to left field. Davis coming in, and he makes the catch, almost overran it. One down here in the third inning. Well, scary moment last night. Xander Bogaerts getting hit in the wrist, and it appeared this was going to be real bad. Throwing about 98 miles an hour at that point, and right up and on the wrist. And we had a fan's view from behind home plate at the very same thing. Starting Tuesday, you can send us your videos to Nessel. Get a look at different vantage points from fans around the ballpark and fans at home as well. We look forward to it on Tuesday night, but a couple we're mixing in this weekend. Inside, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. Send in your videos from the ballpark, from home, wherever you may be. If you're watching a Red Sox game, and we'll try our best to get it on Nesson.
A little bit low, and it's 2-1. Could be tomorrow night's video. On the ground to short. Romine knocks it down and won't do anything with it. Bogaerts a reach.
That should go as a base hit, I would think, for Xander Bogaerts, as Romine had to go quite a distance to his left. He's able to get a glove on it, but even if he catches it, he's got to probably spin around and try to throw Bogaerts out, and I doubt he would have been able to do that.
So the Red Sox collect their second hit of the game. Bogaerts aboard at first with 1 out. And the return of Brock Holt. 348 so far with Boston. No homers and 4 RBIs. Joining the Red Sox today, back up from Pawtucket as they check on Bogaerts. Holt, at the time of his recall, 6th highest average in the International League, hitting at .315. Eighth game at the major league level this year, as he takes strike 1. He's reached base safely at least once in all 7 of his previous major league games this year. Majority of his time coming with the Paw Sox. Spending time at shortstop, 19 games at shortstop, and time at second base and third base.
One thing you might want to do against ground ball pitches like Porcello is start runners. Play a little hit and run and try to stay away from double plays. Strikeout pitches, that's really not that good of a play. Ground ball pitches sometimes can be very effective.
Porcello's already had 1 double play, disposing of the first base hit from Mike Napoli in the second inning very quickly. Sizemore bounced into it. On the ground right side, Kinsler will go to second for 1 to first, and it's not in time. Holt gets down the line well And they do get Bogarts at second base for the second out of the inning on the force out.
Kinsler had just too far to go to his left to be able to make this double play, especially with a left-hander hitting. Of course, close to the first base. That gives Holt that extra jump down the line, and he's able to beat it at first base. As Kinsler going to his left. He does a good job churning it over. So does Romine, but not in time to get Holt.
Two down, Holt at first base, and Dustin Pedroia standing in. His second look at Rick Porcello tonight, as Pedroia struck out swinging in the first. Only strikeout so far for the Tigers right-hander. Porcello last year finishing the year with 13 wins. He's had 10 or more in each of his first 5 major league seasons. And he's on the corner, 1-1.
Slider that time for Porcello on that outside corner to Dustin Pedroia. Very close pitch.
Runner goes. Liner caught at first by Cabrera. We had played 3 from Fenway, and Detroit has a 2-0 lead. Sign up for Eastern Free Checking and receive a free house cleaning courtesy of MaidPro. Free checking and a dust-free home. Another neat idea from Eastern Bank. We're here, you're first. Details at easternbank.com/clean. It's 2-0. Tigers enjoy the lead over the Red Sox. They come to bat here in the visiting half of the 4th inning. It's Austin Jackson, who walked in the 2nd inning. Rolled over foul into the crowd. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, school is almost out of session and summer is around the corner, so get your Sox tickets now. Student tickets are available for every game during May and June to celebrate the end of the school year. Tickets start at just $9. Go to redsox.com/student today. Jackson, Castellanos, and Avila to bat here in the 4th inning. Out to left center field. Karp moving over and making the catch for the first out. Well, Jerry, after we ate dinner tonight, I headed out and took a walk around the Cumberland Farms area near the right field roof deck. So I made it my view tonight, and just a nice walk on a beautiful day here at Fenway Park, and great place to check out the game if you do come here to Fenway.
That's something Don likes to do after dinner, is walk off dinner, and he does it around most ballparks around baseball, and took a nice picture tonight.
Great view from the right field area, and nice night here at Fenway Park during batting practice. One down for Nick Castellanos.
He must have ate early tonight.
I did, yeah. What did we eat, about 4:12, 4:15, something like that?
The Sox were still hitting when you took that video.
Swing and a miss for Castellanos. Mentioned the 9 Ks for Lackey last time out. It's not been a big strikeout night so far. 1 K. Make it 2. He strikes out Castellanos, 2 down.
And Lackey did a breaking ball to pick up the strikeout. Strikeout high in the season is 11. He did that against the New York Yankees about 4 starts ago.
Two down, Alex Sevilla. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, 0 for 1. Picked up an RBI on the play. Victor Martinez scored from third, and Tigers jumped on top 1-0. They would add another run in the third on the home run by Cabrera. Breaking ball for strike 1. Red Sox into a shift. Brock Holt moves from third base over to the right side of the infield. Strike 2. Lackey's retired 7 of the last 8 batters. Appears to be getting sharper as his outing goes on. Andrew Romine waiting on deck. Wrap foul into the seats. Vila fouls it off right at the plate, and it hangs at 0-2. Miguel Cabrera homering in the third inning, his 7th home run of the year. Registering his 36th RBI of the season along the way. There's an 0-2. Foul back again. Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Grounds Coffee Pouches, the healthy alternative to tobacco for professional baseball. For more information, visit getgrinds.com today. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled off to the left out of play. Still here on the right side for the Red Sox. They play him to pull. The 0-2 pitch to Avila. Brzezinski trying to frame it, but that is away.
A tempting pitch right here by Lackey. The fastball away. Something you got to think about if you're Avila.
In the dirt, blocked there by Brzezinski, and it evens at 2-2. Yankees winning today. They beat the Pirates 7-1 after being rained out last night. Baltimore trailing Kansas City tonight 1-0 in the third inning. They're at Kansas City. In the dirt again, full count.
Lackey trying to snap off that slider that time, but not close. Running the count now to 3-2. Long at bat for Avila.
This is pitch number 10 of the at bat. There is Andrew Romine on deck. The payoff pitch. And Avila will take the walk on another close pitch that Lackey wanted badly. This is the second walk given up by John Lackey, and a long at bat there for Avila.
I thought he had the high strike on the curveball that time, did Lackey. And there's the frustration after not getting the call from Fagan, the home plate umpire.
2 down, Avila at first base. Andrew Romine, second look at John Lackey. Struck out swinging against him in the second inning. Strike one. Lackey against the Tigers in his career, a 3.86 earned run average. 6-3 record. 12 regular season outings against the Tigers. Faced them twice last year. Jumps ahead here 0-2.
Back to the breaking ball, the curveball from Lackey to quickly get ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Lackey last year 6 2/3 in game 3 of the ALCS against the Tigers. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Romine again. Third strikeout for Lackey. Shane Victorino will be leading it off when we come back. Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Eastern Bank.
Nice shot of downtown Boston back in 1996.
All right. We get to the fourth inning. Bottom of. With the Red Sox trailing 2-0. There are no more house secrets here. Send it down to Adam Pellerin, who's here in 2014.
All right, Don. Well, there was some bad news, obviously, with Will Middlebrooks going down with injury. There's good news in the return of Shane Victorino tonight. The Sox right fielder, of course, hurt his left knee sliding into third in Game 2 of the Sox series against the Twins. Hadn't played since. He had an MRI on that left knee yesterday. It was all good after that. And you can see on this play right here, in Game 2 of the series against the Twins, he sort of grimaced a little bit on that triple. He hadn't played in the 2 games following that, but he actually wanted to play last night after the MRI came back clean, and John Farrell said it was best to give him another day of rest before getting him back tonight.
This one is popped up foul off to the left hand, out of play. Shane back in there tonight wearing a brace. Nice grab by a fan off to the left here at Fenway. In the dirt as Avila able to block it to his right. A ball and 2 strikes to Victorino, be followed by Ortiz and Napoli here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, and Victorino strikes out. Second strikeout for Porcello. 1 down.
Both strikeouts for Porcello coming on the slider. He got Pedroia to lead off the ball game. And now Victorino on the slider for the strikeout. His strikeout high is 6 on the season. Done that 1 time.
1 out for Big Papi, who flied out to left field in the 1st inning. 0 for 1. 9-game hitting streak coming into tonight's game for David. And a swing and a miss. Familiar shift here for Ortiz on the right side. Down 0-2. Not a lot down the middle for Porcello. Working up, down, side to side.
And using all quadrants of the plate.
Bouncing in this time, 1-2.
Is that a bride?
I think so. Ortiz to left. Davis going back. Is going to grab some wall. Davis plays the carom quickly, and Big Papi's got himself a long single to left. It is the 3rd Boston hit of the night.
Well, we've seen 2 of the Red Sox power hitters going to the opposite field tonight. Mike Napoli back in the 2nd inning going to right field. This time Ortiz gets a fastball down and away and takes it to left field off the scoreboard. So with 1 out, Red Sox have the man at first base and David Ortiz.
Now David Ortiz now the 10-gamer. 19 for his last 38 at .500 during the 10-game hitting streak. Includes 5 home runs. Napoli singled in the 2nd inning, 1 for 1. In there for strike 1. Tigers double play depth in the infield with Ortiz at first. Cabrera holding him on at first base. 0-2. On tomorrow's all-new Ultimate Red Sox show presented by AAA, we'll look back on a magical week for David Ortiz and recap the Red Sox 6-game road trip. Catch all that and a lot more tomorrow at 5:30. Line into right center field, a base hit. Ortiz up to second on the second hit of the night for Mike Napoli.
Now, we've been talking all year about the two-strike approach by Mike Napoli, and it has been absolutely something to watch. I mean, 2 quick strikes on him, trying to pull the ball. Then he gets down in the count, an inside fastball again, and he takes it up the middle for the base hit. So, I mean, you know, he's going to cut down on his strikeouts doing this, and by putting the ball in play, something good's going to happen, and that's exactly what happens there to Napoli. I mean, that's something he's been working on since day one, the first game of spring training.
2 on, 1 away. Grady Sizemore, the batter. On the ground right side, Kinsler will go to first for out number 2 of the inning as the runners move along.
Yeah, Kinsler makes the wise choice there because so much momentum going toward first base that to try to go to second base against Napoli would have been nearly impossible. So he gets the 1 out at first base, but 2 men get into scoring position. See how far he's going to go. And he just spins, not even thinking about throwing to second base.
Second and third, 2 down. Mike Carp, the batter, a chance to do some damage here. Close pitch, called a ball. Carp popped out to Castellanos at third base in the second inning. Pitch 50 coming up here for Porcello. 2-0.
The way things are going for the Red Sox, you might consider giving Cobb the green light here. They've had so much trouble with men in scoring position. A 3-0 fastball might not be bad, and that's if he gets a fastball on a 3-0 count.
Takes it for a strike at 92, 3-1. Ball 4, and he'll head down to first base. Base is loaded. That's the first walk given up by Porcello. Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, coming out here for the Tigers. Well, never miss another game. Download the 2014 Red Sox schedule to your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program at NESN.com/schedule. Well, first sign of trouble here for Porcello in his outing, as the bases are loaded with 2 down in the 4th inning, and A.J. Pierzynski will be next. Pierzynski lining out to the left fielder Rajai Davis in his only at bat tonight. That was in the 3rd inning. Brzezinski 2 for 5 with the bases loaded this season with a grand slam. He's got 8 of them in his career. th pitch of the inning for Rick Porcello. And Brzezinski badly fooled as he changes up.
Knowing that he swings early and counts, he started him with a breaking ball, then he goes to the changeup on the 1-0 count.
Ortiz at third, Napoli at second, Carp at first. Red Sox looking for their first run of the night. Brzezinski grounds it softly right side. Kinsler to first, and again Porcello out of a jam. Red Sox leave them loaded and trail 2-0. Back at Fenway Park, where the Tigers hold on to a 2-0 advantage. To the 5th inning we go. Great opportunity by the boards for the Red Sox to get to Porcello, but he gets out of the jam. So John Lackey back on the mound. It's Rajay Davis leading it off here in the 5th. And taking a pitch outside, 1-1. Davis fly to center field. Grady Sizemore in the 2nd inning. Ground ball and a couple of hops out to Xander Bogaerts. Got to get it there in a hurry, and he does just get Rajay Davis. Did not get as much on that as I think he would have liked, as Davis gets down the line so well.
Yeah, you've got to know the speed of the hitter, and certainly Rajay Davis has excellent speed down that first base line. And I think if Bogaerts had to do that all over again, he probably would have tried to get a little extra on that throw to first base. He was too close.
One out here in the 5th, and Ian Kinsler the batter. Kinsler 0 for 2. Out to right center field, and this has got gap written all over it as it gets down and heads back to the wall. Kinsler heading for second, and he will pull it up there. He's got himself a 1-out double in his first hit of the night.
Well, Kinsler came in the game a .429 hitter with 4 home runs against John Lackey. This time he finds that gap in right center field and has the easy 1-out double. As Victorino and Sizemore track it down. Victorino finally getting it back in.
One down, Kinsler at second base. Torrey Hunter the batter. He is fly to right and grounded to short, 0 for 2. This is line to left and down towards the corner. Kinsler coming around from second base. Torrey Hunter's headed for second. He's got an RBI double, and the Tigers jump out to a 3-0 advantage. Just a bullet down to that left field corner.
Yeah, Torrey Hunter moved up to the 2 spot tonight to follow Kinsler, and he delivers with the double down the left field line. A fastball inside, and Torrey Hunter really cleans it out. Line drive all the way down to the 310 mark. It rolls back toward the infield, and 3-0 Tigers.
Well, Hunter gets his lead at second base. Miguel Cabrera, the batter. And Cabrera, first pitch swinging, fouls it off. He had fouled out in the first inning, and then last time up homered around the pole down the right field line. For Cabrera, his 7th home run of the year, and at the time would put the Tigers on top 2-0. Seventh home run of the year allowed by John Lackey. As Cabrera now lines it to center field, and this is going to get in. Torrey Hunter coming around from second base, and the Tigers have a 4-0 advantage. Second hit, second RBI of the night for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, we talked about it last time up. I mean, the guy just uses the whole field. He hit the opposite field home run, this time straightaway center field with the line drive on the fastball from Lackey. Picks up the RBI, his 37th now of the season.
This is his 12th 2-hit game of the year for Miguel Cabrera. And the Tigers with 2 quick ones here in the top half of the 5th inning, right after the Red Sox had the bases loaded and could not score. It's now 4-0 Detroit. Victor Martinez, a pitch in the dirt. Cabrera thought about it, but he retreats to the bag. Lackey frustrated, got the first out of the inning, and Rajay Davis gives up a double to Kinsler, a double to Torrey Hunter, and a single to Cabrera and 2 quick runs. Off balance swing from Victor Martinez. Line and caught by Pedroia. He sprawled out at second base to pull that in. Nicely done by Dustin Pedroia.
Now that's a couple of very nice plays by Pedroia tonight and in this series. Diving to his right, takes a base hit away from Victor Martinez, pops up, looks at first, no play there as Cabrera gets back to the bag.
Two down here in the 5th, and Austin Jackson, the batter. Jackson walking in the 2nd inning, flied out to left in the 4th. Yanks it down and away, 1-1. Lackey last time out throwing 105 pitches in his 7 innings of work. '84th pitch bounces in, and it's 2-1.
Cabrera really didn't know what to do over at first base. That ball was bouncing everywhere. Off the glove, off the shoulder, off the hand of Brzezinski. So Cabrera stays at first base.
Line to left, and this gets down to the track of the wall. Cabrera heads for third. Karp will go to third base with the throw, and into second goes Austin Jackson with a double. And it's second and third now with 2 down. There's been some hard hit balls in this inning for the Tigers.
Yeah, a lot of pitches down the middle of the plate from John Lackey here in the 5th inning. Austin Jackson had been 0 for 16 prior to that at bat. That double. The 4th hit of the inning for the Tigers. There's a curveball that doesn't really break for John Lackey. Kind of stays flat out in the middle of the plate, and Jackson with the 2-base hit. Not blessed with great speed as Cabrera, but he does make it to third base.
Now for John Lackey, the pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. Here is pitch 86, and it's outside. Castellanos 1 for 2. Singled in the second, struck out in the 4th. Castellanos, a first-round draft choice by the Tigers, 44th overall in the 2010 draft. Last year, got 11 games. Hit a .278 in those 11 games. Two and two. There is action in the Red Sox pen. Chris Capuano warming up in the pen as Lackey runs into some trouble here in the 5th. So far 4 hits and 2 additional runs. Two pitch. Full count now. Alex Avila waiting on deck with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 20th pitch of the inning coming up for John Lackey. Popped up right side. Napoli makes the catch that ends the inning. Tigers get 2 more and lead it 4-0. We'll see Brock Holt coming up. Have you seen our new Sunday pregame show, Nesson Clubhouse? It's where kids run the show, and we're looking for youth baseball and softball teams to be a live studio audience. Visit Nesson.com/clubhouse sweepstakes to enter your son or daughter's team right now. Now the Red Sox trail 4-0. Work to do as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Xander Bogaerts leading it off against Rick Porcello. Comes in with a record of 6-1. And has a 4-0 lead now into the bottom of the 5th inning. Bogaerts, Holt, and Pedroia expected here in the 5th. Red Sox leaving the bases loaded in the 4th inning. They've left a total of 4 men on through the first 4 innings. Bogaerts takes ball 2, 2-1. Brock Holt waiting on deck. Two and two. Kind of froze Bogaerts right at the bottom of the strike zone.
You're facing a guy like Porcello as a hitter. You're trying to tell yourself, make him get the pitch up because he's a ground ball type pitcher.
This is up to deep left field. Bogaerts has left the yard. Home run for Xander Bogaerts. 2nd of the year. The Red Sox are on the board.
Just like that. That ball was not near the knees. That ball was up above the belt, and Bogaerts' eyes lit up when he saw that. Line drive home run for Xander, his 2nd of the season.
That is the 4th home run given up by Porcello of the year. They've all been away from Comerica Park. And on the road, here is Brock Holt, who takes strike 1. Holton has returned to the Red Sox tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. So the Red Sox finally on the board here in the 5th inning with a leadoff home run by Xander Bogaerts. Holt now the pop-up left side of the infield. Romine equidistant between 2nd and 3rd, puts it away. So 1 out and a run in here for the Red Sox. Top of the order, Dustin Pedroia coming up. Pedroia has struck out swinging, lined out to first. There is strike 1. Breaking ball kind of fooled Pedroia, almost ducked into it. 2-1.
Just a spinning slider this time from Porcello. Doesn't do anything at all. And Pedroia down on one knee.
Down the right field line, foul, out of play. Now, for every hit this month, Echo Store Technologies will donate $50 to the Greg Hill Foundation. Echo Store and the Greg Hill Foundation respond immediately to improve the lives of local families touched by tragedy. To learn more, log on to echostore.com. Echo Store Technologies, your data center solutions provider. to right, and a base hit for Dustin Pedroia. Takes it the other way. His first hit of the night.
Now, once again, another pitch up in the zone, up and away from Pedroia, and he hits the line drive to the opposite field. Those are the kind of pitches you certainly hope for from Porcello. And the Red Sox have got a couple of them this inning. Bogaerts, then Pedroia.
Now Shane Victorino looking for his first hit tonight, 0 for 2. Shane fly to left in the first, struck out swinging in the fourth inning. There's strike one from Porcello. To center field, playable for Austin Jackson, now into right center to make the catch, 2 down. Red Sox fans, here's your chance to be part of history like Big Papi and own the 2004, 2007, and 2013 authentic World Series rings. Support your team charity by entering the Red Sox Foundation's ring raffle at redsox.com/ring raffle. Remember, the grand prize winner gets an authentic World Series ring from the last 3 World Series. Two outs here in the fifth. Shift on for David Ortiz as they hold on Dustin Pedroia at first base. David fly to left in the first, single to left off the wall in the fourth inning. Throw to first, and diving back is Pedroia. On the ground, foul, 2-1.
I think that's one David would like to have back again. That was a pretty good pitch for him to hit. A fastball down. That's exactly right there, like where he likes it, and he just tops it down the first base line.
Line foul down by the tarp area.
Looks like Ortiz got Avila on the backswing that time.
He's had enough problems head-wise from a concussion standpoint. He does get it on the top of the mask. Pedroia with his lead at first, 2 down in the inning. And Ortiz takes a close pitch high. Full count. Porcello battling here in the 5th inning. Gave up a leadoff home run to Xander Bogaerts. Got Holt to pop out. Single by Pedroia gets Victorino to fly out to center. And a lengthy battle with David Ortiz as Pedroia can get a start at first with 2 down, full count. And time call. Ortiz goes around. They'll check, and he did to end the inning. Jeff Nelson said he offered. That is the 3rd strikeout for Porcello. A leadoff home run by Xander Bogaerts gets Boston on the board. It's 4-1. Tigers have the lead. Xander Bogaerts with a home run gets Boston a run. It's 4-1. Tigers have the lead as they're out hitting the Red Sox 7-6 as we head into the 6th inning. Bottom 3rd of the Tigers order. Alex Avila to lead it off here against John Lackey. Tigers getting a run in the 2nd, run in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th inning. On the ground, down the 3rd base line, a fair ball trickled down in that direction. Going to roll all the way to the corner, and Avila is headed for 2nd base. He will get a sliding double to begin things here in the 6th inning. Not hit hard at all, but well placed down that 3rd base line by Alex Avila.
I've seen a couple of those left-handed hitters where the Red Sox are playing to pull and just go the other way. We saw Victor Martinez do it early in the game, and now Avila does it. He gets by that wall and trickles down toward the left field corner for the double.
More action in the Red Sox pen. Capuano was up earlier. Now does Edward Mujica. Warming for Boston as Andrew Romine stands in here for the Tigers. His 3rd look tonight at John Lackey. Fouls it off to the left out of play. It's time now for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag NESSANFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Tonight's fan photo comes from Aaron Fournier, who braved the rain delay last night. Rain did go away, though. 47-minute rain delay. Tigers taking game 1 and enjoy a 4-1 lead here in game 2. Rajai Davis on deck here in the 6th. And gone around, and he did. Strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. That is 4 strikeouts for Lackey, and 3 of them belong to Andrew Romine.
Yeah, twice with fastballs, and this time the curveball. And you can see very clearly there that Romine could not check the swing. So Romine having a very difficult time picking up the ball from John Lackey.
1 out, runner at second for Rajai Davis. Line to left, and this is going to get into the track on the wall as Avila comes around from second base. To second goes Rajai Davis, got an RBI double, and the Tigers take a 5-1 lead, regain their 4-run advantage.
Well, a breaking ball of Rajai Davis, who has had success over the years against John Lackey. And he takes that low breaking ball that time and pulls it right down that left field line. Avila coming around the score. And that's going to be the night for Lackey.
Pitching change from Fenway. Tigers have a 5-1 lead. Specialists in process controls helps industrial plants throughout the Northeast run an optimum efficiency. Wow, bet you didn't know FW Web did that. More on this proud Boston Red Sox sponsor at FWWeb.com. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. A run in already for the Tigers on 2 hits. As the double by Rajai Davis chases John Lackey from the game. Mahika now the play at second, and back to the bag is Rajai Davis.
Just a quick step off by Mahika and a quick move to second base by Pedroia, and they almost get Rajai Davis. Pedroia doing everything he can to keep him close at second base. He likes to steal third.
Another play, and this time a little closer, but he's back to the bag again. That lead got a little bigger. Pedroia was standing right by the bag.
See Rajai Davis taking his lead, and Dustin almost like he's holding him on. Time to steal third is with 1 out, 2.
Try it again. Can't remember the last time that a pitcher threw to second base 3 times.
3 times
in a row.
That's right. You do it when Rajay Davis is out there, I'll tell you that, because he does like to go.
This is rip foul to the end of the dugout and beyond to the photographer's well. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local New England Ford dealers. Edward Mujica into the game now for the Red Sox. 15th appearance, 1-1, 8.10 earned run average, 9 Ks to 4 walks. Opponents hitting at .339 against him. Worked in last night's game, won an inning and a third. Look out! Almost took out the umpire, Hunter Whittlestead, as he fires it into center, and Davis will get to third after all that. So the 4th pickoff attempt at second base, and it's uncorked by Mujica into center field. Almost took out Hunter Whittlestead, the second base umpire.
And he was the most surprised guy in the ballpark. Watch the umpire. He has to duck out of the way of that pickoff attempt. So Rajay Davis causing havoc in this particular inning at second base. Now the Red Sox have to pull the infield in.
Pitch down and away. Error charge to the pitcher, Mujica, that allows Davis to get to third base.
And with Rajay Davis' speed, I'm sure he'll be going on contact and inning ground ball to the infield.
Outside, 2-1. More action for Boston. Chris Capuano was up early in this game, back up again. Mujica working an inning and a third last night, gave up 1 hit in his effort against the Tigers. Only his 5th appearance in the last 20 games. Fouled off to the right, 2-2. Infield in all the way around as Davis gains his lead. In the dirt, full count now to Ian Kinsler.
And Mujica tries to split thing at fastball that time, backhanded and knocked down by Brzezinski.
Kinsler protects the plate, fouls it off to the right. Kinsler now, Torrey Hunter next with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Tigers have got their 4-run lead back and have a 5-1 advantage with Rajay Davis at third. Kinsler to center field. Back goes Sizemore, and be plenty deep enough as he makes the catch out there. Tagging and jogging home is Rajay Davis. And the Tigers take a 6-1 lead. Sac fly for Ian Kinsler.
Kinsler doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Look for a pitch that he can lift in the air and get it deep enough to the outfield to at least get the sacrifice fly. That's what he gets. Picks up his 20th RBI of the season.
Now Torrey Hunter, this one's got a lot of spin on it. Mujica knocks it down, then flips to first for the out. That ends the inning, but the Tigers tack on 2 more and take a 6-1 lead. No time for the list, and we take a look at the top Detroit Tigers of all time. It's a tough list. There's a lot of good Tigers over the years. If you have a comment about tonight's list, tweet us at #NessenList. The guy we see a lot of is Al Kaline when we are in Detroit, around the ball club a lot, around the stadium at Comerica Park a lot.
Yeah, what a terrific guy he is.
Alan Trammell played in your era.
I did not play against Ty Cobb.
Napoli sends this down the right field line and out of play.
They have a statue of Ty Cobb at Comerica Park where he's coming in with his cleats very high.
Spikes up.
Spikes up.
Have you seen the movie Cobb?
No.
Pretty good movie.
Good movie?
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. Napoli 2 for 2. He was singled twice. Fouled it back 0-2. Napoli, Sizemore, and Carp. Red Sox trailing by 5 as they bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. This will be pitch 80 for Rick Porcello on the night. Had to throw 21 pitches in the 5th inning. Red Sox have left 5 men on through the first 5 innings, and that includes the bases loaded in the 4th inning when he got Pierzynski to ground out to end that inning. Swing and a miss. Napoli badly fooled, and it's strikeout number 4 for Porcello. Breaking ball gets him, 1 down.
Now, last time Napoli got a 2-strike hit on fastballs the first 2 times up. This time he gets the curveball from Porcello and no contact.
Meek Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 1 out in the 6th inning. Grady Sizemore, the batter, has grounded out twice to Kinsler. First time turned into a double play. Last time out 4-3. On the ground again to Kinsler. 3rd time he's gone in that direction. 3rd time Kinsler has been up to the task. It is time for a Toyota game break and Tom Caron. TC. Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Back here at Fenway Park, 6-1. Tigers have the lead over the Red Sox as Boston bats here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Mike Carp takes pitch up top for ball 1. Red Sox running into a red-hot Tigers team. They've won 4 straight games. Let's get done sweeping the Orioles as part of this road trip. There's a ground ball foul outside of first. Red Sox fans, it is Nova Scotia weekend in Boston and Nova Scotia Day tomorrow at Fenway Park. Head down to Faneuil Hall tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. to experience some of the beauty and hospitality of Nova Scotia. Some lucky fans will walk away with tickets to tomorrow night's Red Sox game and a chance to throw out the first pitch. Log on to novascotia.com to plan and book your trip today. Into Sydney, Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Beautiful. This is on the ground. The shift on, picked on the backhand. And Carp is retired for the final out of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th, 6-1 on top of the Tigers. was on this date in 1939, the first televised baseball game. Princeton versus Columbia took place. The next day, the New York Times reported, it is difficult to see how this sort of thing can catch the public fancy. Well, thankfully for us, it has caught the public's fancy. Back in 1939, Bill Titus did that game. Brian Brennan and the rest of our great crew here at Fenway Park. As Miguel Cabrera leads it off in the 7th inning. The pitcher is Chris Capuano on for the 7th. 19th appearance, 1-1 with a 2.21 earned run average. 20 strikeouts, 8 walks. Opponent sitting at 227 against Capuano. Third pitcher used tonight as John Lackey is on the hook for this game. 5 1/3, 6 runs. Cabrera 2 for 3. He's homered and singled, driven in 2 runs. Now Capuano wants to talk to Pierzynski.
I think the reason you saw Mejica before Capuano, you mentioned he'd been warming up early. He takes longer to warm up. And they wanted Mejica in there very quickly to replace Lackey. And now they go to Capuano, who was completely warm out of that bullpen.
Was that because he was a starter before and it just takes him longer?
Yeah, it just takes him longer to warm up than Mejica. Mejica's used to getting ready quickly.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. And he strikes out Miguel Cabrera. Nicely done. 1 down here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, elevates the fastball to pick up the strikeout on Cabrera. Another time that's a pitch he'll take to the opposite field like he did earlier in the ball game, but this time well behind the fastball. Almost like he was surprised by the velocity.
One down for Victor Martinez. He singled in the 2nd inning, scored a run. Since then, he's grounded out and lined out. Last saw Capuano on Thursday at Minnesota. Pitched the 8th inning, going an inning, walking a batter, striking out a batter. Inside, almost hit Victor Martinez, and it's 2-1. Tomorrow night in the finale of the series, Jake Peavy matched up against Anibal Sanchez. Red Sox off on Monday, then the Jays for 3.
Tomorrow night's game can be seen on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Slap foul off to the right, full count. Well, enjoy the rich taste of Farmhouse Blend coffee from Cumberland Farms. It's made from 100% Arabica coffee for the perfect balance of aroma, body, and taste. Stop in today for a cup of do-it-yourself coffee perfection. For only 99 cents, any size. Line to left, and a base hit for Victor Martinez, his 2nd hit of the night.
Now Victor Martinez hitting from the right side for the first time tonight. Rifles the base hit to left field. He's 2 for 4. One of the outs was a line drive out that Pedroia made a great play on.
One out, one on. Austin Jackson has walked and doubled in this game, has been on twice. There's strike 1. Line and caught by Brock Holt at third base. Nice catch. Looked like he thought about leaping and then kind of lunged to make the grab on the backhand.
Yeah, it was kind of a strange line drive, a sinking line drive head down on third base. Usually they're rising up over the head of the third baseman, but this one started to sink. And Brock Holt able to go across his body and make the backhanded play.
So 2 down. Victor Martinez still at first base. Nick Castellanos the batter. Will roll it over foul. Tigers have 10 hits, and everybody in the order has at least one, with the exception of Andrew Romine, who struck out 3 times in the game tonight. There's an 0-1 to Castellanos. Foul it off to the right, 0-2. I want to remind you to vote for the Amica Pitcher of the Week at NESN.com/Amica. Enter to win a $100 gift card from NESN to the Yawkey Way team store. Swing and a miss as Capuano strikes out Castellanos to end the inning. Pierzynski will lead it off when we come back to Fenway. Mason's wide selection of Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup packs will keep you running and guarantees to satisfy any fan base. Order by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Who but W.B. Mason? Last half of the 7th inning back at Fenway Park, 6-1. The Tigers have the lead over the Red Sox. And it'll be A.J. Pierzynski, Xander Bogaerts, and Brock Holt scheduled to bat here in the inning. Rick Porcello back out there for the 7th as we take a look at the pitching line, brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 6 innings, 6 hits, the 1 run, which was a home run by Xander Bogaerts in the 5th inning. He's walked a batter, struck out 4, and 87 pitches deep into his outing, trying to pick up his 7th win of the year. Came in at 6-1 into tonight's contest. A.J. Pierzynski takes ball 1. Pierzynski is lined to left, grounded out to second base. Rolls it over foul. It evens the count at 1-1. The Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center Walking Club invites you to lace up your sneakers and walk with us this Sunday, tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Jamaica Pond. While there, get a free blood pressure screening. More at bidmc.org/walking. One pitch. On the ground, foul outside of first. 5 in a row now retired by Porcello. Just missed inside. Popped up left side. Castellanos, the third baseman, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So make it 6 in a row now retired by Porcello. One down here in the 7th. And Xander Bogaerts coming up. The only blemish in this game for Rick Porcello came to lead off the 5th inning. Xander Bogaerts taking him out to the monster seats in left field. And at the time made it 4-1 with the Red Sox getting on the board, trailing the Tigers. But Detroit coming up with 2 more in the 6th inning to take a 6-1 lead. Now Bogaerts takes strike 1. Xander is also singled, so he's 2 for 2. And down 0-2 this time.
Good sinking fastball that time for Porcello. It really had a lot of movement on it, down and in to Bogaerts.
Rockhold waiting on deck. And a nice defensive play last inning. 2-2 to Bogaerts. 96 so far tonight. He's reached his average. Still shy of his season high. Game 2 of the 6 games this year between the Red Sox and the Tigers. One more here tomorrow night. And 3 games in Detroit, June 6th through the 8th. On the ground down the line at third, foul. Not sure what that was about as Clint Fagan brought the baseball out there, said something to Porcello. High for ball 3, full count. Red Sox had a golden opportunity in the 4th inning with the Tigers on top 2-0 at the time. Red Sox had the bases loaded with 2 outs and could not score. Had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. On the ground at 3rd, guarding the line was Castellanos. He spins and fires in time to get Xander Bogaerts, and they retire him for the first time tonight.
Well, you're right, Don. He was right on top of that line. That hole at bat for Xander Bogaerts, and a couple of steps to his left, a spin, and a very nice, accurate, strong throw to first base. There's that first move, the crossover step, spinning around, and a strike to first base to Cabrera.
2 down, 7 in a row retired by the Tigers starter. And here is Brock Holt. Holt will chop it towards second base. Kinsler on 2 hops fires to first for the out that ends the inning. We played 7 from Fenway. The Tigers enjoy a 6-1 lead. The Red Sox, and a fan video tonight from a Fielder's Choice here for Brock Holt. And again, you have a chance to send your videos in from around Fenway Park to Nesson. We'll tell you more about it for Tuesday night. But we get some great shots from fans around the ballpark, different vantage points of the game here at Fenway Park.
Yeah, on Tuesday we'll have all the information for you, how you can get your video into Nesson, whether it be from the ballpark or from home.
Sevilla fouling the first pitch back here in the 8th. On the ground to shortstop. Bogaerts has got it. He'll fire to first base for the first out of the 8th inning. Tune in tonight after our Red Sox coverage to Nesson Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Ellen Leah will have a breakdown of the game between the Tigers and Red Sox. Steve Lyons will be breaking it down, and a look at Brad Marchand's recent playoff struggles. See what know-how can do. One out. Andrew Romine takes a pitch that gets away.
I was watching a little of that hockey game today, the Rangers and Canadians in the Red Sox clubhouse, and the Rangers with a big afternoon.
Yes. Kind of a surprise in Montreal. This one fouled off to the right, out of play.
I heard Mike Milbury say that they were really skating well today, moving their feet well, moving their feet. Going from in to out, back to in, back to out, and then shooting.
And there for strike two, 2-2. What is your breakdown? Usually it requires a lot of back checking, right? Is that what you look for?
There wasn't much back checking from the Canadians today.
3-2 pitch is in there for strike 3 to Andrew Romine, and he is struck out for the 4th time tonight. 2 down.
That's a tough night. I mean, 3's tough. 4, it's like, I really don't want to go up there again. Nasty pitch too from Capuano. Fastball down and in, and when you're striking out like this, it seems like every pitch is a nasty pitch.
And 4 in a row retired by Capuano. Rajay Davis batting for the 4th time tonight, doubled his last time up. Now he sends one out to center field. In comes Sizemore to make the catch on the run that ends the inning. We head for the last of the 8th. 6-1 Tigers. HB toner cartridge dual packs offer additional savings and are guaranteed to work the first time every time. Order from WB Mason from 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Nobody beats WB on HB. That is 6-1. The Tigers on top of the Red Sox. Bottom of the 8th inning. Rick Porcello back out on the mound. He has retired the last 8 in a row. 4th time that he has dealt with Dustin Pedroia tonight. In search of his 7th win of the year, coming in at 6-1. Up over 100 pitches now, and it's a fly ball to center at Austin Jackson for the first out of the 8th. Double-barreled action now. Phil Koch is the left-hander, Al Albuquerque the right-hander. One away for Shane Victorino, 0 for 3. Victorino takes strike 1. Looks like we're going to see some work tonight for Koji Uehara, who has not worked here in a while and is up in the pen right now in this 5-run deficit for the Red Sox. Seen 2/3 of an inning for Edward Mujica. Last 2 innings for Capuano in relief of John Lackey. Went 5 1/3. Give up the 6 runs the Tigers have tonight. 1-2 fouled off. One-two is nubbed down the first base line, and it is going to be out. The ball touched him. He said the ball touched him. The home plate umpire did. Let's bring John Farrell out.
Are they saying the ball touched him, or that the runner Victorino did not allow the pitcher to make a play on it? The ball did not touch it. There's no question about that.
Was he obstructed from making the play?
That's what I'm thinking right here.
Well, if he's in the baseline, I don't know how he can.
I don't understand it either, because that's a very tough play. I mean, he's running right on the line.
Right.
And the baseball happens to be right on the line, too.
If he was running inside, I guess you could have an argument, but where he was at didn't appear to be the problem.
And it did look like he made a step to get out of the way.
John Farrell headed back to the dugout. Victorino's still out there arguing. And John just realized it, so now he's got to go get Shane. Farrell is just about back to the dugout.
Well, we don't see this call very often at all. And there's Victorino going down the line. He's on the line. Now he tries to step away from the pitcher in the baseball. And apparently they called him for obstruction on a player trying to make a play on a ball.
I don't know. It looks like he said it hit me and I was past the ball.
It didn't hit him.
Definitely didn't hit him. And I'm watching the home plate umpire, Clint Fagan, run out there. He was pointing at the ground.
Yeah.
And then gave the outside. David Ortiz bats here with 2 outs in the inning. Get another look at this play.
There's no way the ball hit Victorino, so that's not the call. The call's got to be interference, obstruction, whatever they call it. As Victorino right here is coming close to making contact with the pitcher, and then does make a step to get out of the way once he's by him.
Into the shift. And Ortiz is out number 3 of the 8th inning. We head for the 9th, 6-1 Tigers. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. The new Scion TC. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. And by Southwest Airlines.
I think, Don, looking back at that play, too, if you say, why didn't John Farrell look at it on replay? You can't, I don't think, until it gets past first base, if I'm not mistaken. A ground ball in the infield, you can't, take a look at it on replay.
You can clearly see Shane Victorino saying that I was running in the baseline.
There's no question about that.
And he is correct. And Kinsler leads it off here in the 9th inning. Red Sox onto their 4th pitcher of the game as Koji Uehara comes in here for the 9th just to get some work. Red Sox trailing by 5 runs, and here's a pop-up that has Napoli stepping into foul ground for the first out of the 9th. Well, Uehara coming in here, obviously in a non-save situation. 17th appearance, 0-1 with a 1.15 earned run average. In save opportunities, 9 for 9. 24 Ks to 3 walks, and opponents hitting at .224 against Uehara. Got his 9th save of the season last Sunday. That was at Texas, May the 11th. So it has been a while for Koji Uehara and getting a chance here to work today just to get some work.
Yeah, plus the Red Sox play tomorrow, then have an off day on Monday, so no question he can go 2 days in a row if needed.
Nice job tonight by Chris Capuano. Went 2 innings, striking out 3. Torrey Hunter doubled back in the 5th inning for an RBI, and he's 1 for 4 in this game now. 22 runs batted in. One around for strike 2. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, did he go? No. As they check with Scott Berry, first base umpire, to check swing. 2-2.
Uehara trying to snap off that split-fingered fastball, and Torrey Hunter did not go on that pitch.
Swing and a miss, and Hunter strikes out, 2 down in the ninth. Well, tonight's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Rick Porcello, 8 innings tonight, giving up 6 hits and the 1 run. The home run by Xander Bogaerts. John Lackey, pitcher record on the other side right now, 5 1/3, 9 hits, charged with 6 runs, 5 earned on 4 Ks. Bogaerts 2 for 3 in the game, and a solo home run back in the 5th inning. Here's a liner down towards the corner off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. Carp over to play. Cabrera headed for second base. Carp's throw to second will be not in time. Sliding in safely is Cabrera with 2 outs in the ninth. Well, sports can bring you to the edge of your seat and to your feet. It should always bring you to NESN.com, the region's #1 sports site, with comprehensive Red Sox coverage and the most Bruins content in New England. Get live blogs, video, and podcasts found only on NESN.com. 4th 3-hit game of the year for Miguel Cabrera. Kate Upton here tonight.
Supermodel.
Justin Verlander's girlfriend. They were at the Garden the other night for the Bruins finale.
Yeah, yes, we saw that in the paper. She's a supermodel.
That's what the graphic said.
When you become a supermodel, like instead of just a model,
it's like going pro as a model. You're a model,
really
you're just a model. Now you're a major league model. That's basically what it is.
Big time.
Big time, big league model.
Giselle. Right. Yeah.
One is high and the count is 1-1.
Don does some modeling in his off time in the off season. He's a hand model.
I model a couple nights a week during the off season.
Yeah.
Extra cash.
Yeah, just your hands. You're a super hand model.
In the air to right center field. This is hit well. Sizemore going back. So it's Victorino. Look out. Sizemore makes the catch. Bangs against the wall. That had collision written all over it. But Sizemore makes the grab, and we head for the bottom of the ninth. They can smile now. Presented by Men's Warehouse. TC and Eck will have a preview of the Jays' first visit to Fenway this season and a closer look at Jose Bautista's great start. That's Tuesday at 6 p.m. and it's on Nesson. 6-1, Tigers have the lead over the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. The left-hander Phil Koch comes in for Detroit after 8 innings tonight from Rick Porcello. Koch's 10th appearance without a record, an 8.31 earned run average, 4 Ks to 3 walks. Opponents hitting at 378 against Koch. Porcello ends up going 8 innings in this game, allows 6 hits, 1 run, the home run by Bogaerts back in the 5th inning. He walked only 1, struck out 4, and in line for his 7th win of the year as he came in at 6-1. Mike Napoli had 2 hits off Porcello tonight. Single to right, single to center, and then struck out swinging in the 6th inning. Left side and through. Again, Castellanos, third baseman, guarding the line. And that is into left field. Napoli with a base hit to begin the 9th. Third hit of the night for Napoli. Don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. Tuesday at 6:30. We'll break down the AL East parity so far this season. Also check in on the MLB Notebook. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Brady Sizemore 0 for 3 in the game. He has grounded out 3 times to Ian Kinsler at second base. As he takes strike 1.
Napoli, who had that base hit, now has 3 hits on the night, 3 singles.
Ground ball to first base this time. Cabrera tags the bag, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 9th. Napoli takes second base on the fielder's choice. So runner at second, 1 down. Mike Karp coming up here for Boston. Tough year last year for Phil Koch. We're looking at his numbers this year, and they're not terrific. But last year, 49 games, and he was 0-5 with a 5.40 earned run average coming out of the pen for the Tigers. However, in the postseason, he was much better. 1 earned run and 10 2/3, 0.84 earned run average. So after a tough regular season, his postseason was pretty good. 1 out, runner at second base, and Karp the batter. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Two 2-0. Which is more frustrating, a game like last night where you only need 1 run to be able to tie it up, or a game tonight where you're down by 5?
Well, they all take a different flavor, Don, but tonight's a little bit tougher. You know, last night was just a real good ball game. You're facing the Cy Young Award winner from a year ago. You know, to take nothing away from Porcello tonight, I don't want to, take it the wrong way. I mean, the guy pitched great tonight, but the Red Sox had opportunities. The bases loaded situation. They couldn't get a run home. I mean, the offense right now is just sputtering along.
In there for a strike to Karp, 3-1. Tigers coming in red hot, just swept the Baltimore Orioles. 2 outs away from winning this series against Boston. They still have to go to Cleveland on this road trip. 3-1 fouled off to the left, full count. Action for the Tigers further in the pen. Jabba Chamberlain starting to warm up alongside Robbie Ray. To third and picked by Castellanos. Gets up and he throws to first in time. Nice play. That ball exploded on him at third base. 2 down.
He's been very active tonight down at third base for the Tigers. Seems to be in the right spot at the right time. This time playing off the line a little bit. The one hopper into his glove, stands up, and another good accurate throw to first base to Cabrera. Throwing the leather around down at third base tonight is Castellano.
Two down here in the 9th inning. A.J. Pierzynski coming up. A.J. came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 4th and grounded out to second base. Got Rick Porcello out of a jam in that inning, and it was only 2-0 at the time. Tigers. Since that time, Red Sox have had only 3 hits. And 1 coming to begin this inning from Mike Napoli, who's now at second base with 2 down. In there for strike 2. Pierzynski 3 for 13 against Koch in his career, 231. And down 0-2. In the air to center field, Austin Jackson is there, and the Tigers have taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series, as tonight they down the Red Sox 6-1. As John Lackey takes the loss in this game, Rick Porcello is the winner, and Porcello grabs his 7th win of the year. He is now 7-1. Another frustrating night tonight from Fenway as we send it to Tom Caron.